you're just jealous. Oh, you're just jealous. Oh, you're just jealous. Oh, you're just jealous. Oh, you're just jealous.
Oh, you're just jealous with a BG boys.
Oh, you're just jealous. Oh, you're just jealous. Oh, you're just jealous.
Stop being so jealous
Oh, you're just jealous. Oh, you're just jealous.
with a BG boys.
Oh,
Oh, boy.
yeah. Oh, the returns once again. Can't believe it.
Oh, New Year's.
All right, cut the music. Cut the music.
Stop the music. Stop it.
So
How you
what's
doing,
up,
Adam?
y'all? What's up, Sean? How you doing?
Doing good. Glad we're back. New year, 2020, which
I'm from the future.
it really does. It sounds like I write it down. I'm like, this is a fake year. This isn't real.
It is weird.
Yeah.
And like I work in the medical field and there's like legal documents and stuff that are dealt with and you have to write the 220s otherwise it's not viable in court or something.
It's weird.
Like you can't write 20 cuz someone else could fill in another year like 19, 18. And that's like a
That's
thing.
absolutely crazy. I just feel like I'm ruining official documents by writing 20. Like, no, this isn't true. I'm sorry, my science fiction year is coming into this.
Oh, it's coming in.
Yeah. This is going to be a pretty big year, though. We got some pretty cool-looking
Huge things.
hits coming out, man.
Smash
I mean, the
hits.
end of it's supposed to be the new PlayStation, supposedly, the end of this year.
Yep,
and
PS5.
so maybe some other stuff coming out
They
in
just
the mix,
came out
too.
with that logo, or they revealed the PS5 logo,
Oh, yeah,
which looks
yeah.
extremely different from the PS4 logo.
Yes, so different. It's all right. I'm all right with it. I mean, I guess we should start with some of the big news that's just been released. Final Fantasy VII Remake. No
Delayed.
surprise, but yeah, delayed. Unbelievable.
Delays.
Like, we probably have called this in other podcasts, and I'm sure a million other people have as well.
It's
but
January, and they
Yeah.
already delayed 2 major titles. This
Well, that
might be
was-
the year of the delay.
this was like where I was going. Like, I got this announcement, and I'm like, all right, it's delayed, but I'll be able to play some Cyberpunk or whatnot. And then, like, a couple of days later, it's like, oh, you think a month delay is bad? Try September for Cyberpunk.
brutal.
Oh my God, it's great. I mean, I'm okay with it. I feel like that's kind of the theme of the podcast that we touch upon is delays in general, or like not rushing games out.
They shouldn't.
They absolutely
You
shouldn't.
can't have it both ways.
Mhm.
You can't complain when games come through released early and they're not finished games,
Right.
and then at the same time be like, I don't want to wait.
Because, I mean, I get the anticipation, the
Takes time
excitement.
to do work.
And everyone is very like, oh, we need this now. And I get there's other things involved where like people could lose interest in a certain subject, so not getting a thing out when the iron is hot, like I could understand that. But if you release like a garbage game, or not even a garbage game, a game that maybe could have been great but needed some fine tuning, and now the first plays that people like Anthem, for example, is a horrible one that breaks my
Released
heart.
too early.
Looked amazing and could have been so much more. And yes, they've been adding stuff to it, but no, it just like a few things were like my first impression of playing it, and I just don't want to go back into it. Yeah, maybe they fixed it, but like you spend all this time and you're just like, wow, this is it. This is what I got. Like, it looks nice, but it's a nice looking piece of garbage. And no, I don't agree with it. And I'd rather them take their
Poop with
time.
roses on it.
Yeah, like I'd rather them take their time, put the the little extra tweaks that they got to do. And yeah, I get it that sometimes the things were already delayed, and it's like, how many delays are you gonna get? Because like how many like StarCraft Ghost that never came out
Oh,
just
I wish
kept
it
getting
did,
delayed and
too.
kept going. And that's the other end of
How
it.
good
where-
would that be for
I know,
this generation
I know.
right now?
Oh my
too?
God. I you know what, they were like I remember hearing like with that particular one they were complaining that like it played too much, almost like a Metal Gear Solid. Like, I'm fine with that. Those are good games in the StarCraft universe. It could have been good.
Could have been
But
good.
point being is that a thing that gets pushed too much, kept getting pushed year after year, and then suddenly it's like the interest
fell
is
off the
lost.
cliff.
Did
That's
this
it.
happen? So I get it on that sense, but with something like this where they've already put a lot of work in, and FF7 itself, when it originally released, is a couple discs long of a ton of game, to now amp it to today's standards to make it look as good as it does. Like, it's going to take time. And like, I understand people are complaining like, oh, I'm hearing mixes that you're only either getting up to the end of Midgar for this first installment, and some people saying you're only getting to the end of disc 1 for this installment. I don't know which is particularly true.
I've heard more of Midgar.
That's what I was hearing initially too, and then recently on Twitter I was seeing a few back and forths with that. So maybe you go a little bit beyond it. Either way, they expanded Midgard, it seems, in general, and to do all this work to put it into this. Don't let it release and then you're hating it. Like,
of course,
you need another month. Take the month. A month is fine.
And for me, every year I get older, the longer I can wait for a game.
Yeah.
How many games can we play right now?
Yeah, on the backlog. I agree.
But you haven't even touched.
I agree.
And we're worrying about a delay. To me, go for it.
Mm-hmm.
If it's going to improve the quality of the game.
Yeah, when this
theory,
releases, I want to be able to play it and enjoy it and not like go a couple hours in and go, what did I just play? This was rushed or garbage or whatever. Now, Cyberpunk, yes, a much longer delay, but like I was reading a few things that the developer was talking about that because I know you were bringing this up before with companies that like to like sweatshop it. Right, that was the
yeah. In the latter 6 month, like before release, a lot of these companies you hear stories, for years on the internet of these production companies and game devs just working 12-hour shifts,
not seeing their families,
and not eating.
Yeah,
exactly.
You're getting paid your wages, but like they were talking about trying to unionize.
People are in an uproar on Twitter and other social media about that. How could you do this to people? You can't have it both ways.
Right, exactly.
Either you allow these companies to take their time to make the game they want to make, or this is what happens to all these, game industry
and there's,
people.
Don't get me wrong. There's definitely multiple aspects to this because, like, the longer you're in production, it's spending money, not making money. But it's like, do you want to spend all this money, get to this far, and then suddenly the game flops and now you're out all that money? Or maybe just make it where everyone's now raving about it and more people are going to start spending money on it. And it goes a few ways. But the Cyberpunk, the people they were talking about was that, like, we don't want to do, that we feel like the game is very playable and very good, but it just needs that fine tuning.
Yeah, the polish.
And they don't want to sweatshop it. They don't want to have their people doing the game, like what do they call that? The release crunch or the like. There's a few terms that I've heard in the industry that they've used, and like a lot of game developers,
in many different businesses, but
in video games especially, like I feel like you hear it the most. Like once the game's about to release,
well, it's like movies. Once you have a release date, you only have so much time before you can have a complete product.
Very true. I mean, unless they, push it back, which that's a little more rare in the movie end. Like it's edited to the point where it's done.
It almost never gets pushed back. Man.
It's true.
A lot of these movies they either release or they don't.
Yeah, or they'll give you like a spring of this year, and it's like, all right, it's actually the summer instead. It's fine.
Just kidding.
They've been a little more accurate lately, but I applaud them for that. That they came out and said, like, we're not going to do this to our employees. Like, we need to. And again, it also comes to the point, like, when you're not getting the sleep and pushing yourself to this limit, some people can like work well under those conditions, but I feel like a lot of people, you're not getting your best if you're tired and it's afraid for your job to be lost, that kind of thing. Like, let them come in rested, like loving their job, work, not thinking, oh, I just want this to end.
Ready to work.
Exactly. Not missing the little things like crazy glitches and this and that can also ultimately break a game. And that was one thing I like to see, like, in that spirit of all these people in an uproar, what's going on. Because Rockstar,
it's just called
I know
doing business the right way.
Yeah.
It's okay. I will survive till September.
That's true. No, absolutely.
Cyberpunk to come out.
Absolutely. Like,
even though it's an anticipated title, I did want to play it.
I can't. I'm very excited to play it, but again, like, I'm okay with waiting that little bit longer, even if it's like the other latter half of the year. Fine. If that's what it takes to make this game as great as it is,
make it happen.
Considering how Witcher 3 and all the other games they've released, how great they've been. If this is what it takes to make it on that level, by all means.
Agreed, dude. You know what? I don't know. It's a catch-22. You're damned if you do. You're damned if you don't.
Mm-hmm.
So,
because I get
let them release when it's ready.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying.
Because, and again, I can understand the counter argument of just you want this game, you waited, especially if you put money down to pre-order it.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh, and like, actually, one thing I've been noticing lately that people have been saying, which I didn't do so much, like, I guess there was days, like, I think, like, when we were in college and Grand Theft Auto San Andreas came out, Like I remember, like I totally ditched classes that day. I went and got it. I think I came to your house. I was like,
No, we didn't.
dude,
No, we didn't.
we played. Yeah, no, totally. This was absolutely the case. It was like, I'm not going to class today. But
San Andreas, bro.
yeah, and it was great. We had so much fun playing that game, and it was, you know, I went to school after that. It's not like you're dropping out for these things, but I've been seeing, like, especially on Twitter, a few people that we follow, they like will put their vacation time for a week, like a launch week, to go into a game, and like I totally feel that. Like, yes, that would be amazing if you have nothing else going on in your life.
I feel like if you're a single individual
Right, well, yes,
without kids whatsoever,
yes,
you
that's
can plan
typically
such a staycation.
Or even if you're not, where at least, you know, you're home like a staycation.
Yeah, and you're planning for that.
And it's like,
of
all right,
course,
you're doing
of
your
course.
duties that you'd have to do anyway. But now it's like, I'm on vacation to play this game now. Like, this is what's happening, or at least a day or two of doing it. And then you get this pushback, and now you've taken out time, and you either have to rework your vacation if you can, or now you're off on a weekend.
Mind you,
there's
this
nothing.
is based on the release of San Andreas, folks. Just saying.
Well, no, this was, I'm talking about Final Fantasy VII.
Plan your vacations now.
Yeah. Final Fantasy
Shut
VII
the
is
doors,
the one I've been
shut the
seeing the
windows.
most, where people...
We got San Andreas. Turn the phone off.
But you
put it on airplane
I'm sure
mode.
I've seen other people mention this, where,
Of course,
you know,
yes.
because especially Final Fantasy VII, like, especially the people that are now old enough where they're working jobs and are expecting to play a game that will bring them back the nostalgia.
Priorities, man.
And
Priorities.
It's like, oh, I got nothing.
This is a lifestyle.
Yeah. Like, I can't say that I've done that in, like, plan a vacation. Because, again, with the way things release, how do you know? Like, when I'm picking my vacation, maybe we know the release date, but now you don't. Like, I thought I knew the release date of at least 2 games, and both are pushed back.
It's over.
The only 2 that I pre-ordered so far.
I'm going to work. I'm going to work.
Yep, that's it.
Thanks a lot, CD Projekt Red or whatever. Real nice.
But very, you know, just one of those things where it's a another aspect to the whole having delays and pushing back and stuff, where you're planning for things.
You know, I'll say this: the FF7 delay, I don't know what they're doing. I heard there was a whole issue with, like, they put the demo onto PSN.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then there was some sort of situation with like a hack or
really?
a data mining, where someone, like, basically had possession of the full game because they data mined or whatever that means.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I did not hear about that. That's
and
amazing.
They were leaking details on Twitter about seeing all the different characters that they didn't yet announce that were definitely going to be in the game, which they should be, but they didn't announce anything.
Right, because I guess you wouldn't maybe see some of them at that point in the original, but they were trying to do fan service of, like, because Midgar's expanded, maybe you'll see Kate Sith or something early when you don't see him until, like, the Gold Saucer.
So information was leaking all over the place. I just turned Twitter off for a few days.
I tried.
If I see
but
I
some
saw
things,
that was definitely
that's
happening.
crazy, because I know people were talking about like they were able to play it at some of the gaming conventions. Like, they had, I guess, one of the earlier boss fights in, and they were able to, like, play. So, like, you know, there's people that have had their hands-on experience with this game and saying how much they liked it and how it's not just a press this button.
I will say this: the coolest feature to me is that supposedly you can make it like the traditional turn-based style.
I'm very excited for that, because I would prefer that, but at the same time, I am curious to see. I'm curious more so, is this like a choice you need to make in the beginning of the whole game will be this, or do you just on the fly can switch it, like when you're out of battle, all right, the next fight I want to be the action-oriented stuff?
Well, I figured you might want to play through turn-based the whole game and then maybe revisit it with the new, you know, action-based engine.
Again, maybe sometimes you're just not feeling going crazy at that time, like, and then you want to just, like, are you able to? It is
more relaxing to
do
turn-based. Like, you don't have to pay attention every second,
but
really.
I don't think it's going to be a true turn-based. I think it's, like, similar with some differences, because I don't think the summons work the same now.
No, they don't.
So that's going to be different, even though it's still a turn-based. It'll be a different aspect of it. So either way, like I said, if this is what they need to make this game
4 weeks,
excellent,
guys.
Yeah, it's
4
fine.
weekends.
It's
Suck
fine.
it up.
Yeah, at the end of the day, no use crying.
That's a spilled milk situation.
Yeah, but I like I said, just it was a thing I never thought about, I guess you could say, like, where it's like, oh, like, I never thought of it like that, of people taking time off because they want to play a game. Like, you're so busy during your normal life that you won't be able to. And now,
I'm sure there's many
I
people out there that are like, I need a day off. I think I'm just going to stay in and play PlayStation
Absolutely.
for 9 hours.
Absolutely.
You know, that's what it's all about sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You got the time.
Yeah, but that's just the one of the newer things that we were seeing this week, where it was like, oh my god, like 2 in a row, like the 2 big ones that we were looking forward to.
You know what? I saw people joking about it and stuff, and I was like, you know what's gonna happen, and it did.
What's that?
I've seen with the
that's
Cyberpunk.
the next. Oh, okay, yeah.
Like once the news of FF7 hit, I saw people writing, "Watch Cyberpunk be delayed," and it was done.
Yeah,
in like 2 days.
I kind of had a feeling that was gonna come because the city just seems so humongous, and like granted, they could have been working on this for a very long time. And
I'm surprised it doesn't
fine.
get pushed back to like next.
I
gen.
know that's kind of what I'm.
Wouldn't they? We're so close. I feel like.
But again, maybe.
Like, do they really have that many titles lined up for the next gen, like on drop, like on release at the end of the year? Do you see them coming out with all these games? Maybe.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Because a lot of them, but that's the thing I feel like they're pushing for, though, is it's a lot of backwards compatibility. Like PS4, especially, will be backwards compatible. So they've been saying.
They just released. This is the biggest non-news story ever.
Yeah. They
just released, Sony, that the DualShock 5 is going to be the name of the new controller with the new system. Is that's like a non-news story?
Like what? Oh, is
what
it?
A shocker that is.
Mean,
I'm dual shocked, right?
Yeah. Isn't that what they all have been? Like, aren't they all the DualShock controller? Is that
exactly exactly?
Were you like? I'd be more surprised if they weren't naming it that.
Right? There you go.
Oh man, I found a few memes of that, like people like talking about like I don't know if it was like drug related or what, where it's like Sony, where it's just like PlayStation or PSX. And then, or PS1 for like the remake, and then PS2, PS3, PS4, and then it's like Xbox, and they just keep putting like a box at the end, and then it's Nintendo, the guy who's like on cocaine. It's like we're gonna go Wii and Wii U and like the Switch and this all these things. There's nothing the same. Game Boy. Oh my god! But yeah, that is a totally non-news story.
I mean, I heard that. I was like, really? This is news now?
Hey, you know what we're going to name our controller? Get this, the DualShock.
You heard about a DualShock 4? Check this one out.
We're going to upgrade it. Are you ready? I don't think you can handle the 5.
Next level.
DS5, baby.
Right? That's the next step.
Oh,
after the Switch, we're re-releasing a new handheld system, the DS3. Is there a 2? No.
Probably not. Who knows?
Just XL. Does that count as 2? We'll count it.
All right. So, Adam, what you been playing lately?
What I've been playing lately? 2 games.
All right.
I've been playing Battlefront 2.
Oh, yes. How's that going?
They cleaned up the game really nicely. They
Very
don't
cool.
pound you over the head as much with the microtransactions, and they backed off. And
have they added anything related to like Rise of the Skywalker?
They did.
Or
they added
the new.
It's a whole new release.
Okay.
That they are charging for it. I think it's like $20 or $25. It's like a newer DLC.
Okay.
And it incorporates content related.
So if you had a season pass, would this have covered that though? Or you think
I don't know. I just don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, because I would think that's the point of a season pass. But
I would think so.
I'm curious.
But you never know. It's EA. So.
And what about with the other new Star Wars game that came out? Is there anything related to that dude?
I didn't hear about that.
Okay.
Sources say no.
Okay. I'm just curious if like while they're at it, but I guess it's different studios. One's EA, right? Or they both. Actually, I guess they both are EA. Really? So
I think EA just has the Star Wars license. So anything Star Wars.
That's why I'm curious if they would
believe.
just bring in like maybe that dude from the new one with his droid as a playable, unlockable, like when you get Darth Vader and stuff like that during the game. You'd be like an option. Maybe in the future. Maybe something.
Maybe.
I'm just curious if you knew being you've been playing it lately.
No, but it's more online focused. Remember, I would always complain about Lost Planet having a tremendous multiplayer and the servers are down and you can't play it.
Oh God, yeah. Wow,
this
we
is like
both know that story
Star
too.
Wars Lost Planet for me. It's that competitive and intense
okay.
and high.
I thought you were
speed,
talking about
high
like
energy.
I can't get a game.
Oh no!
I just want to play. That's what I was thinking for a second. No, it's you're
Star
just
Wars,
loving
you're
it.
getting a
Multiplayer, cool.
Yeah, you're
All
getting
right.
the game.
That's good.
And it's just awesome. Like the whole system is, if you haven't played it, it's a shooter, and you gain points, and when you earn enough points, you unlock, so to speak, different either vehicles or vehicles that you ride,
Guns,
or
and all
you
that
could
kind
be
of stuff, right?
right. You could be droids,
Loadouts.
you could be all these different things, an officer,
Hmm.
and you could be the heroes. You could be Darth Maul, all of them, basically all of them that you can.
Not
think
so
of.
much a hero with that one, but I know what you
Well, a
mean.
villain and a hero.
Yes,
like any
the main
the
characters.
characters.
Yeah, the big names, the heavy hitters.
That's right. So, and it's amazing. You could be Darth Maul and do Darth Maul things.
That's great.
A lot of fun, man.
Mm. Does the Duel of the Fates play when you get to be as him?
Does.
That was. I mean, as much people like to talk smack about that particular one,
it's
that
amazing.
theme is outstanding.
The whole
that
end
fight
of that
was
movie
outstanding.
is cool.
I don't care how much you hate Jar
It
Jar. That is
almost
just
makes
so
up
damn
for
good.
the first hour.
Yeah, I honestly didn't mind that movie, but that's another
I
topic
didn't
for
either,
another
but
day.
when it's Star Wars and
Yeah.
your expectations are through the roof, same thing happened with the new trilogy.
Yeah, I guess. I
You
suppose.
know, if you watch them in and of themselves, they're not bad movies.
I
but
suppose.
when people are married to these
Right.
characters in their mind to be
True.
a certain way,
Hmm.
you're changing
That could be
what's
anything.
canon, right?
Yeah, that could be anything. Any
how dare
book that becomes a movie, Lord of the Rings included and stuff. Like
Of
people are gonna have
course.
their things
If
with
it
it.
differs from the book
But,
too much.
All right, what's the other game you're playing?
Godzilla for the PS4.
It
It's actually, if you go to eBay and try to get that game, it was like a limited commercial release in this country.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's actually worth like over $100, I think.
What?
Now. Yeah.
For the PlayStation?
For the PlayStation 4.
Wow. That's weird.
Imagine that.
A limit, like what? Just to coincide with the movie or with toys?
They just didn't
or...
make a lot of
Wow.
this Godzilla game for
Okay.
whatever reason. I ended
And
up
what is it
picking up
exactly?
for like
What kind of
$20
game is this?
at GameStop like years ago, huh?
What kind of game is it?
It is a kaiju game where monsters fight monsters, but there's also objectives. You have to destroy certain places in the city, but
Okay.
you get to play as the kaiju monsters.
Okay.
And
So,
Godzilla and King
like,
Ghidorah
it's
and
not
all
a
these.
fighting game, but it's like an
Well,
action.
it's a fighting game of sorts, but it's
But I'm talking. It's not like Street Fighter or Tekken fighting.
it's sort
you're-
of like the Godzilla 2 NES game where you sort of go along a grid and you go to places and you have to fight different monsters and do different things in different cities.
But are you like, is like the whole city your battleground, or do you get taken to like a different
Not
area
the
to fight?
entire city, but it's a lot of reproduction. I wouldn't
Okay.
look too hard at like the
Well,
city itself.
I mean, like the map
but
of
it's a
this
monster
city,
fighting monster
Yeah.
game. Yes,
But like you're throwing them into buildings and stuff like that, and blowing stuff up with your
less
breath.
grappling, more moves, individual moves.
Oh,
Like you'll
okay.
have a projectile move, like the Godzilla's atomic breath.
Okay.
You'll have Gigon has like this kick flip thing that he does.
Oh, okay.
Like each character has their own unique moves, but it's mostly striking.
Okay.
There's a charge move and there's a projectile move for
Okay.
the most part. That's
Okay.
the game. It's back and forth,
All right.
right? So
Plus other things mixed.
if you're
in with the-
excited by those movies, you're bound to be excited by being
that's cool.
the Smog Monster or the
The
other one-
Smog Monster.
or Jet Jaguar, which is an off-kilter one for us,
JJ.
for North Americans.
That's a great title.
But long story short, my son loves it. I enjoy it. It's a fun pick up. And
Is it a multiplayer at times, or
you can play. I believe you can play multiplayer.
but against one
I
another?
don't. We sort of take turns, so
Okay.
I don't even investigate really the multiplayer.
Fair enough.
It might be a one-player game, even. I don't know.
But you can certainly pass the controller easily.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's
because
fine.
you go
Sometimes
stage
games
to
like that are
stage,
good.
and you can just switch off stages.
Okay.
Everyone gets their time in.
Are you like married to a monster you pick when you start a game, or are you able to pick each level?
You are, but you choose it at the beginning of the game.
Right. Okay.
And you have to go along the map, so to speak.
Gotcha.
Like you hit different areas. Like remember Street Fighter 2?
Yes.
You defeat one person, you go to another
Mhm.
area. Similar here.
Okay.
Same
That's
scenario.
fine. Sounds like a fun little pickup then.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah, it's
that
been-
I guess somehow increased in value over time unexpectedly.
Just
That's
I think
crazy.
because it's relatively
I mean, yeah,
rare. It's not
I'll-
crazy
yeah.
to not find it, but
Yeah.
it's more expensive than going to, you can't find it at the GameStop right now or
Hmm.
wherever else new,
Fair enough.
doesn't exist.
Okay.
Yeah. So what you been playing lately, man?
Well, I picked up relatively cheaper a game that I think they announced they'd done a little review of it over an E3 a few years ago. Mutant Year Zero. I think it's like Road to Eden, which is
I
kind
saw
of
the artwork. I didn't see any gameplay or anything,
it,
so I don't know. What
yeah,
to
you know, it
expect.
was one of those things like besides that little clip that seemed cool and like I think they had like a cutscene that they played for the E3 mostly where it's like a pig and a duck are the main two characters and you find other people as you go. Basically you're limited to a 3-person party and it's a little bit like you're walking around a map finding things, opening up like chests every now and then or finding scrap on the floor. And then you enter a battle scene where it's like grid, like you're basically like a tactical grid type game, and you're shooting other players essentially. Like there's no real hand-to-hand combat. There's some moves that maybe give you like I think the hog has like a hog rush ability where will run into a person and like stun them,
Right.
and like the duck can like fly up and shoot and stuff like
The
this.
duck.
There's certain it's like a sniper kind of deal, and like you can take out enemies like one at a time because there'll be a map full of creatures, and you can kind of pick and choose who you're gonna fight at a time, so that you're not fighting like 20 guys at once. Like you're killing them one at a time until you have to take on what's left over, or you can take them all on and hope to live. It could be a challenge. But that was on the Switch that I was playing that one, and very much enjoying it. That was over the. Like right up to New Year's around there. Like I got that like right around Christmas and was playing that for a bit. And then I actually decided that I wanted to try and start crossing some games off the backlog. Like we were just talking about having so many games.
Yeah,
and
it's ridiculous.
Red Dead Redemption 2. I played a bunch of it when it first came out, was loving it, and then kind of stopped. And other things came out, and it's one of those things where it's been out for a long while now.
Oh yeah.
I've not beaten it. And I think I was getting too lost in all like the hunting and all these other like activities you could do.
Yeah.
So I'm just focusing on doing missions, and
Yeah, man.
I'm enjoying it. It's crazy. Like
That's what I have to do with The Witcher, like we were talking about.
Right.
You know?
I mean, granted, with The Witcher, like I guess following the storyline, they do keep you in level order, but there'll be a point where
especially like after seeing the show and how much fun that was. Like I'm sort of inspired to go back to this world and just do the main missions.
And I'll be
joining
joining that as well. On our YouTube channel, I've been uploading playthroughs of it, and I think the only reason I stopped was I played too far into the game and not edited videos to upload to the channel, so I had to like take a break because it was like over like 35, 40 videos I had on deck, and it's like I got to get these up there, delete them off the hard drive, and go continue. Not that I'm running out of space, but do I want to edit 50, 60 videos just to play the? It's just one of those things where I'm trying to get some stuff on the channel for us. But
long plays,
yeah. But the what was I saying? The game looks still amazing compared to like when it first came out. Like
it does.
It was like when
it's pretty clean.
The the HDR and all that kind of stuff, 4K, and it just looks incredible. Like there's games that I was playing that were very good looking. But going back to this is still outstanding. I don't play the online. I know that's been revamped a bit and stuff, but I'm just trying to beat the game, so at least it's a game done under my belt, and I can
Red Dead, right?
Yeah, because it's a good game. It's a shame that I got as far as I did and just didn't complete it. So I'm enjoying it again. Like it took a little bit. It's one of those things where like you ever take a break from a game and then you're like, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Like the Gandalf meme.
I was all right at shooting.
I have no recollection of this
I was very good at the original one, and then playing this one was a little bit more advanced, and my shooting was okay. So going back in was like, I'm far enough in the game where they're throwing a whole bunch of guys. I'm like, how do I go into Deadeye mode again and murder everyone?
You also just forget like how the game feels. Yeah, for sure.
It's true. So it was a little learning curve and getting back into it, but I'm doing really well again. I'm hoping to beat it soon, and then I can move on to something else. Like I've bought it, never played Spider-Man.
Oh wow, yeah.
Which is a great game. It's the game most people talk about. The system is great for, and just didn't touch it. And
just the whole novelty of just being Spider-Man and web slinging through the city itself.
And I love like Spider-Man 2. Like how many times did I used to bring that over when I had it for the Xbox? Like that was one of my favorite games to play. Spider-Man 2 the movie was, and I feel like most people talk about that being the game.
Doc Ock.
And this one supposedly is like one of the best like reimaginations of that. Like if you're gonna compare a game that's like a spiritual successor of that style game, this is supposed to be it. So why haven't I played it yet? Haven't had time. Other things taken over. Want to jump into that? Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh,
I loved that
me
game.
too.
I got
and
very
Nier Automated, bro. I've been wanting to play that for like months and months, and I just have not gotten.
I had
to
it on GameFly when I actually just had to cancel my account because I was getting games and not playing them. So I needed more time. But I had that for like 2 months. Didn't even put it in my system. I just returned it. I'm like, I'm just not playing this. I wanted to, but just things to play. So hoping to try and clear up some of the backlog a little bit before now that I'm a little happy now that they're pushed
now
off.
You have time
like
to play
this is
stuff.
like,
That's
hey,
I
can maybe play some of the games. Yeah. Anything else that you're looking forward to releasing though? I feel like I know we usually mention this on the podcast, but it's maybe remind some people it's been a little while. And anything else that you're looking forward to coming out?
Well, I was looking forward to this FF7.
Of course.
And I'm really looking forward to Resident Evil 3.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Dude.
You see that video?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
It's going to be amazing. I can't wait.
Man. That's funny. A lot of people are really complaining about the Carlos change. How he's like got that shaggy, wet-looking hair as compared to like how, and I'm like that. I think he looks more like a human being now. Like the other way, he looked kind of weird.
That's ridiculous.
Like he was like a Rico Suave guy, and now he looks like an actual cop. That like, I don't know.
Right.
I think it looks good. I think they did a good job.
I think it looks fine.
That game terrified me for the longest time. Nemesis. Oh my God.
He comes for you.
Oh, he really does. I remember we were playing with our friend David. Like when that first came out, he rented it, and we were playing, and we just got to a point where you're stuck in a courtyard. He just rocket launches the helicopter. And you're strapped. You have to fight him. It's the point where you have to. And we had like no bullets. Yeah. It was like a game over immediately. Like they didn't give you enough things. It was like,
that was always
how did this happen?
With Resident Evil, and I understand that it's part of the challenge of the game. But man, just give a few more, even like the low level, like the Beretta bullets. Just give that.
Oh man, Yeah, that was so. I really liked the Resident Evil 2 remake they did, so I'm excited for that one.
Hell yeah, that was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was well deserved for being in the running of Game of the Year.
Yeah, which we did talk about in another podcast, so we'll check that one out.
Yeah, from the Game Awards, we had our picks that were obviously completely wrong, but they were our picks, so. You can't be wrong with your opinion.
That is true. Yeah, I was actually surprised the whole Norman Reedus thing. I mean, granted, it was Mikkel. What the heck is his name? The other guy from the same game. Yeah, Madsen. Mm-hmm. Like he won for the best actor thing, and I thought, I was like, wow.
It was a and granted, for,
Norman Reedus was the showrunner. I thought, but I mean. Again, that's another one. I bought that.
That guy's
system.
A good actor.
Oh, he's very good.
He always plays that like sly villain type.
Yeah, Casino Royale. He was excellent in that, and several other things. Hannibal Lecter. He was that on the show. But I got to play that one too. But I feel like that one's gonna be a while before I touch that one, because like the game doesn't start till like 10 hours in. It's like like I want to see it, but at the same time, I'm not looking forward to like blasting 10 hours of a game where you're not even like fully loving it. You know what I mean?
Wait, what did we say? Is it Mads Mikkelsen?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah.
What did we say? Madsen?
Yeah, I couldn't
think of the name.
Who?
The dude from that Quentin Tarantino movie.
Oh, Michael
Madsen? I combined them.
It's funny.
Nice. But yes.
Stuck in the middle with you.
Yeah. Oh.
Hello, you hear me?
Great. Yeah. Hello. Great movie. If you never seen that movie, you're not gonna get that reference. But he talks into the ear that he just sliced off of poor
some cop, some random dude.
Awful.
Yeah, but that guy looked good in like the trailers that we were showing with him. So I do want to. That's one of the things. Like I want to see why he was the winner of like best actor for the game.
Yeah.
Like, how much is
he in this game?
There were a few
people that were in the running that I thought
because most people aren't talking about that with that particular game. It's always about that you're doing supply runs, and that kind of upsets me that the game has such great things like the atmosphere and the music and the story with these people, but most of the time you're just doing these stupid like errand things. You know what I mean? Like that's a little aggravating. Like I guess it's a game, but like. Does it have to be all this nonsense? Couldn't they
have
the
technology to give you performances now, acting performances?
Yeah, but I'm saying like as far as the game, like you're doing all these things that are like delivery missions, where it's like you probably could have cut the fat of this a bit so that you're getting. That's just my opinion. I have not played it. I don't know if I'm just talking out my butt right now, but this is most of the comments that I'm hearing, and like how a lot of people were saying, like, you really need to put like 10 hours in, and then the game really starts going. And it's like, that sounds insane. How if I'm not hooked in the first like hour, let alone a couple hours, maybe 10 hours is more. That's insane. That's too much time.
Yeah, it is.
Before you're like, oh, now I'm really feeling it. That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. That's getting returned before I get to that point.
It's messed up, and like it's a shame because it's like I can see the potential that this is like worth it. Like I get it, but I don't know. But we'll check that one out another time. It's going to sit on the shelf a little bit longer. I'm sure I'll be beating FF7 remake before I'm touching that one. You know?
You're probably right. Same for me, I'm sure.
I'm looking forward to the Trials of Mana though. That's coming out.
Yeah, man.
That's I played that for and I bought the the collections that we had.
What's the release date? March.
I think it was March or April. It's close. This was
like
one of those things where I'm like, oh my god, all these games are coming out so close to each other. But now there's a little bit of a space. Now there's some breathing room.
Delays are a blessing in disguise.
Yeah. But I'm looking forward to see what they're doing with that one because that game came out. We were in high school still when they were like talking, maybe even less. I think we might have been in middle school when they were
talking about
mentioning. Well, it was Secret of Mana 2, Second Successor 3. And then now it's to like have like a full like remaster of the game in a different style. Seems great. I don't know if it's going to be just single player with this one. I can't remember. Surely not 3-player, but I'm thinking it's single player for this 3D remake version.
Yeah.
But the collections is 2-player, so at least you have that.
Yeah, true.
But
we'll see. It looks good though.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts, people? You are excited for these games, but maybe a little bummed that they're being delayed, or are you with us as that it's a little bit of a blessing because you can play some other
you can
favorites?
Dip into your backlog a little bit.
Let us know.
There's so many between all the digital indie games.
Oh yeah, so many.
The physical indie games and the stuff that comes out as big commercial releases. There's so much out there. There's so many games.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do an indie episode.
The market is
coming
flooded.
Up. Yeah, there's so much. We definitely have some more stuff to talk about, so I think that might be a future podcast.
I feel like you don't have time to even contemplate finishing one game before like 2 or 3 other great games come out.
Yeah.
It's a good time, really.
Yeah. Because when we were kids, it was, you got a game and there was other games to play, but they weren't being pumped out like they were now.
You get a lot of garbage games, too.
Oh, yeah.
How many garbage, like SNES? I know this is blasphemy for some people. But how many garbage NES,
absolutely.
SNES,
that
Genesis
just had
games that are just mediocre.
That had like a great like title, like a Disney title,
or just something like X-Men.
Other
and games, it's just replacing the sprite with, instead of Earthworm Jim, it's Earthworm Dan. You know, there's so much of it.
Dan the Worm Man.
And now, like, the library is vast of the different genres of games.
And with the indie genre, like you're getting games that are familiar, that are like other games, but also have their own modern twist that makes them their own unique and like very visually, like way better than like the SNES titles that we were used to, but still have that nostalgia look to it.
SNES.
It's definitely a topic for the future, but just in general, like anything else that you guys are looking forward to that maybe you wish we'd talk about, please comment below if you watched on YouTube. If you're listening on the podcast,
at VG Boys on Twitter.
Yes, absolutely.
I have a new handle at Whirlin the Mage.
The Whirlin Mage.
And Sean is what? What's your Shockdown?
Shockdown, yeah.
It's just Shockdown.
I think so. I don't even know. I don't like at myself ever, so it'll be. We'll have a little link displayed on the video.
Myself all day long.
at.
I'm at myself. But more importantly, of all things, just don't be jealous.
Catch you next time.